Hey, how y'all doing out there? I got some old crazy news for y'all. Now, I know y'all heard already about R. Kelly and his health problems. He OD'd in jail. His lawyers arguing that they trying to kill him up in there. They also found blood clots in his leg. And he received some news that's very horrifying and very devastating. If he don't get out of jail soon, it's looking like he may never get out of jail. And his true fans, his lawyers, his supporters are devastated because they don't have no real proof to have him in jail. They didn't prove that he did any of them things that they alleged that he did, but they still put him in jail, and it's looking like he gonna be in there for the rest of his life because his health acting up, and he may never, ever get out of there unless they act fast and get him out of there tonight. It's looking like Diddy about to be coming home. A lot of people feel a way about that because if Diddy come home, they feel like R. Kelly might as well come home too. And to make matters worse, it really do seem like they trying to kill R. Kelly in jail.
Breaking news out of North Carolina about singer R. Kelly.
The artist, whose legal name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, was rushed to the hospital last week after allegedly overdosing on sleep and anxiety medications given to him by prison staff. In court documents, lawyers for the singer allege that staffers at the federal prison are trying to kill him. He is serving a 20-year sentence after being convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking in 2021.
Joining us now, NBC's Shaquille Brewster with the latest. So, Shaq, what specifically are R. Kelly's lawyers alleging here?
Hi there. Well, you listed that big claim from his team, essentially that prison officials are trying to kill him in order to cover up misconduct. And this really all goes back to filing an emergency motion from his team last week in which they asked the judge to release him from prison and move him to home confinement. It was in that document where they had a declaration from an inmate who signed a statement saying that the official transferred him to Kelly's prison with instruction to kill the singer who is behind bars again on those sex-related crimes. In a filing this morning, R. Kelly's team released a statement or had a line in there that said, now prison officials have overdosed Mr. Kelly on medications and nearly killed him 2 days after he made those allegations public. So they are trying to get a judge to release him and move him to home confinement. And that's part of the claim and part of the argument that they're using to this judge, saying that something happened as recently as this past week.
And how is the other side, the prosecutors in this case, how are they responding?
Yeah, from the original documents and from that original motion, they pushed back fairly aggressively, calling the claims deeply unserious and theatrical, a fanciful conspiracy. It said it makes a mockery of the harm suffered by Kelly's victims. I want to read a line from their reply motion to some of those original claims in which they say Kelly refuses to accept responsibility for years of sexually abusing children and is using this court's docket to merely promote himself, despite there being no legal basis to be before this court. They're also making a legal argument that essentially the court that Kelly's team filed this emergency motion in front of, they don't have jurisdiction to do anything in North Carolina where Kelly is being held.
All right, Shaq Brewster with the latest. Thank you.
The crazy part about the whole R. Kelly situation is they let him out of jail already because they didn't prove that he did anything wrong. But somehow, some way, they managed to get him back up in there.
We want to take you live right now. You see R. Kelly in Chicago. He's just been released from jail. Let's listen in.
Thanks for the order, guys. I promise you we're going to straighten all of this stuff out. That's all I can say right now. I promise you.
Anything your fans? Anything you'd like?
I love my fans. Thanks for sticking there with me. Thank you guys for the order. I love y'all.
Kelly. Please take my hand, please. Oh,
Sure, I can answer some questions.
All right, that was R&B singer R. Kelly, who was released from jail. He was put in jail this week for failing to pay $160,000 in child support. We'll have much more from the scene there, potentially hearing from his attorney as well. We'll be following this story throughout the afternoon.
Me too.
And I think they're setting up the microphones here for his lawyer, who's about to speak at this point. As I mentioned, he had $160,000 back pay in child support. That money, we believe, was posted a little after 11 a.m. Let's listen in. This is outside the Cook County Sheriff's Office with his attorney.
Greenberg. So there's a couple things I want to say. As far as the child support matter, what was posted, the judge has entered a gag order, so we can't really talk about that. He's got a divorce lawyer. She'll be addressing those matters. They go back to court on Wednesday. I just want to touch for a moment on some of the other stuff that's been going on. There have been a lot of criticism. There's been a lot of criticism of Mr. Kelly. There's a lot of criticism of me. On both ends, I think it's unprofessional. I saw his former attorney, who is extraordinarily sick, made some comments yesterday. I understand that he's dying any day now, unfortunately, a great lawyer. His body is riddled with cancer. He's on heavy-duty painkillers. Some reporter went over to his house, allegedly to have some private conversation. The attorney denies saying what he was quoted saying. I can tell you that I personally have worked with that attorney for 30 years, interviewed with him when I was getting out of law school. He sent me people over the years. People shouldn't be criticizing other people. As far as all of the comments and sort of the pitchfork justice that's going on around here, people bringing up his old case and so on, it's disgusting. It's not what makes this country great. He was tried. He was acquitted. We don't retry people in this country. We don't punish people who've been acquitted. We don't try people in the court of public opinion. So we're going to focus on the evidence. We're going to fight the case in the courtroom. The state has yet to give us one single piece of evidence. We haven't seen an interview. We haven't seen a police report. We haven't seen a videotape. When we get those things, we're going to fight this case like we fight any other case in the courtroom based on the evidence. I'll take a couple of questions.
Kelly is facing some very serious charges, up to 70 years in prison. Do you think it helped his case to speak out?
You know, whatever this man does, people are going to criticize. People say, well, I'm going to answer your question. Okay? Whatever he does, people are going to criticize. So if he doesn't say anything, people are going to say he's not saying anything, because if he says anything, he's going to incriminate himself. If he does speak, people are going to say, how can you believe him? He's just saying whatever. If he cries, people are going to say they're fake tears. If some victim, I remember getting yelled at in that courthouse a couple of weeks ago, oh, these victims were crying on TV. How can you call them liars? They're crying. He was crying on TV. People want to call him a liar. I'm going to say the same thing. Because he's crying, it doesn't mean he's truthful or not truthful. Because they're crying, it doesn't mean he's truthful or not truthful. The girls talk to the TV. Oh, it's rehearsed. They have Stockholm Syndrome. People don't even know what that means. They haven't seen their parents. He arranges. He doesn't arrange. The girls arrange. They're going to see their parents. Oh, that's all staged. That's all wrong, too. No matter what the man does, people are criticizing. So what is the man to do? That's what I ask you. He sat for an interview. He wanted to sit for that interview. He's not hiding.
I know it's a lot of people out there celebrating the fact that R. Kelly is on his last leg, and it's looking like he ain't never going to see the light of day because his health is declining. And not only is his health declining, y'all, they doing things to him in there that's causing him to die faster. And I don't want to see nobody lose their life. And for him to be receiving this devastating news, and it's about to be the summertime, people out there getting ready to go on vacation, enjoying their lives, and he's sitting behind that damn cell, crying his eyes out, hurting in pain. He can't even trust the medication that they're giving him right now. I don't know. Karma's a bitch. I know that's what y'all saying out there, and he ain't had no business doing what he been doing. Don't think for 1 second I'm a R. Kelly supporter, because I believe that man was wrong. If these allegations are true, they need to provide more proof. Now, if they want to lock him up for what he did to Aaliyah, just say that. Let the world know that the reason why he in jail is because he married an underage Aaliyah, and we'll leave it alone. If that's the proof they providing, then that's enough proof for me. Same thing with Diddy. If they want to say they want Diddy behind bars because they got him on tape putting hands on Cassie, and they ain't like that. Ain't nobody like that. I definitely ain't like that. And if that's why they want to put him in jail, just say that. Don't make up all this other stuff to throw on top of it. That's like if somebody wrong, they wrong. But when you put a whole bunch of other stuff on top of it that's not necessary, that's what make you wrong. And that's what got the system looking all crazy. But his lawyer said everything I'm saying and more.
It doesn't help his case. It doesn't hurt his case. We are going to try this case in a courtroom, in the walls, on the rules of evidence, based on what they're going to present. We're not going out there and doing interviews to taint a jury pool, to not taint a jury pool, to help a case, to not help a case. The man sat for the interview. He answered the questions. People can think whatever they want based on that. They can make their own judgments. I can tell you that nobody who drew a judgment based on that interview is going to be on our jury and is going to be making the decision.
You talk about not seeing the evidence yet. When do you expect to see the tape or
I expected to see it 2 weeks ago. So when they give it to me, I'll see it.
Why is there a reduction in the child support?
Yes, we filed our motions for discovery.
Is there a reduction in the child support?
I'm sorry.
Is there a reduction in the child support amount that was given, or is there?
Is there a what?
We heard there might be a reduction in the amount the judge.
Well, you know, the child support. We're really not supposed to talk about that, but the man was paying $20,000 a month in child support. He paid it religiously until he couldn't make any more money because of all of these statements that are being made and all of the rumor and all of the innuendo, and frankly because of the charges. So he paid the child support. He paid it year after year after year. Now what's going to happen going forward, if it's going to get reduced, if it's going to stay the same, that's not in my hands.
Steve, can you talk about the Detroit charges? Are you guys worried that there's another set of charges in a second jurisdiction? I
have no idea what's going on in Detroit. I haven't heard from anyone. I don't know anything about it. You know, it's basically, it's open season on R. Kelly. Everybody is now coming forward and saying, oh, I met this man and this is what happened. Look, there's no money for these people. There might be their 15 minutes of fame or whatever, but we could all make our own judgments about whether people are saying things because they're true or because they want their fame or whatever the reason is. Again, we're going to deal with it. If there's charges brought, I'm sorry, it's cold out. If there's charges brought anywhere in this country, we don't walk up. You know, I keep thinking of when I used to take my daughter, when she was a little kid, I took her to see Beauty and the Beast, and they walked up with pitchforks. I'm going to tell you guys a story of a case. I defended a guy in a death penalty case about 12 years ago. We saw the death penalty here in Illinois, okay? We won that case. Not only did we beat the death penalty, he was found not guilty. He went home. He got in his car. He went to a gas station to fill up his car after spending 7 years in jail, and he was shot dead at the gas station. The prosecutor on that case went to that man's wake. That was not justice. The justice is what happens in the courtroom. That's how we decide cases in this country, and that's what we should be doing.
Can you tell us with the next hearing?
Hold on. I'm not Trump. I can't listen.
If you have not received any evidence yet, how can you be so certain that there is no case?
I didn't say there is no case or there is a case. What I'm telling you is if they have the evidence, show it to me, and we will address it in court. We will address it in court. Attorneys shouldn't be flying into our jurisdiction who aren't subject to our ethical rules and making wild statements or any statements about a case. They should let the process play out.
Why haven't they given you the evidence?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them why they haven't tendered anything.
Talk about Mr. Kelly's mental state. I mean, he just got out. You know, what's going on in his life? Is he staying in Chicago for now?
Nobody wants to be in jail. I'm sure that Mr. Kelly is going to do whatever he needs to do to maintain his own sanity under the circumstances.
Does he regret being on camera with Gayle?
I have not talked to him about that interview with Gayle King. Obviously, he went into custody, I think the same day that the interview first aired. I wasn't there when he was doing the interview, but I don't think he regrets.
You weren't there?
Do you think it was
I'm
a mistake
sorry.
to do an interview as his attorney?
I think that Mr. Kelly should be able to speak out however Mr. Kelly wants to speak out, and if that's what he wants to do, that's what he can do. He is innocent. He's got a presumption of innocence. Let me tell you something else. I got criticized for saying that all the people are lying. This is what the law tells us, and I'm a lawyer, so I'm going to tell you what the law tells you to do, okay? People are cloaked with the presumption of innocence, not a presumption of guilt, a presumption of innocence. And a judge tells a jury, when that jury walks into the courtroom, as you look at that man here now, he is presumed innocent. You have to presume him innocent. You can't prejudge anything. And what people are doing is they are prejudging things. The man is innocent. The presumption is that he's innocent. As he stood here before you today, he's an innocent man. He's an innocent man. And people should just understand that. That is the difference in our system. Go to one of these third world nations where you have to prove your innocence and see how they function. Folks, go to Venezuela, go to North Korea, go to what used to be communist Russia. Try and see their system, and then see if you like this system better or that system.
Walk us through the system. Where are you right now with the child support? You'll be in court on Wednesday, and then you'll be in court next week.
You'll be in court on Wednesday on the child support. You'll be in court here on the 22nd on the criminal case, and we'll go from there.
What are your goals? Are you taking over?
I expect there just be a continuance on each of them, actually. And this is going to take quite a while to sort through.
They've been fighting for this man for a long time, and it seems like nothing is working. Even though they speaking logically, people don't care about logic. People want the entertainment, and that's why people become prisoners of their fame, because the entertainment aspect of their lives is more important to the public than the realistic aspects of their lives. They want these celebrities to be comic book characters and superheroes and super villains and vigilantes and all this madness that these people put together for entertainment purposes. And after all of that, they tried to get a pardon from Donald Trump, but now it's looking like the country going to war. I don't think nobody gonna be getting a pardon. We all gonna need a pardon if things go down the way they say it is.
We turn now to explosive allegations from disgraced R&B singer R. Kelly. He claims there was a plot to kill him in prison.
This morning, a new push to release R. Kelly from prison amid allegations the disgraced singer was poisoned behind bars. Newly filed court documents claim Kelly was given a near-fatal dose of medications in solitary confinement. His lawyers claiming a combination of anxiety and sleeping pills caused the 58-year-old to collapse in his cell before being rushed to the hospital. The filing also claims, despite doctors saying Kelly needed surgery for blood clots, he was sent back to jail. His attorney accusing prison officials of a sinister plot. These people did overdose him. They did leave him with blood clots in his lungs, and they did it within days of his exposure of a plan to kill him set forth by Bureau of Prisons officials.
The reason is that Mr. Kelly was about to expose some facts that would be extremely inflammatory and damaging to the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice.
Government officials dismissed the accusations as a, quote, fanciful conspiracy. Sources tell ABC News while Kelly was taken to the hospital, the visit was for routine medical care.
Everyone in R. Kelly's operation needs to go to jail. Everyone.
Kelly is serving 30 years for racketeering and sex trafficking. His decades of sexual abuse featured in the documentary Surviving R. Kelly.
This is something unprecedented in the history of popular music, with, I believe, hundreds of victims. I now know 69.
The Bureau of Prisons declined to comment on Kelly's hospitalization. His attorney has requested a pardon from President Trump.
I need y'all to do me a favor and just imagine that they put a documentary out about you, all your ups and downs, your success, your failures, and think about what society would make out of you. And I know you saying I ain't never did nothing wrong. I ain't never hurt nobody. But if they put you under a microscope, your previous relationships, your current relationship, the relationship you have with your kids, the decisions that you done made, the sexual encounters that you endured, the role you played in all of it, it'd be hard for you to feel like you're not a criminal when people looking at you with a magnifying glass. I ain't trying to justify nothing R. Kelly had going on, but they got the spotlight on him and they ain't trying to put no blame on nobody that was around him. Same thing with the Diddy trial, man. They giving everybody immunity except for Diddy. Now this man is getting death threats in jail. He done already OD'd, and on top of that, he might not never, and when I say never, I mean never ever make it out of jail. If he do, it's gonna be a miracle. I know a lot of people out there praying to get the greatest R&B singer of all times up out of jail. I'm wondering what we supposed to do with his music. I find it hard to listen to R. Kelly due to all the allegations, and I don't know if they true or false because they ain't proved nothing in the court of law. I think they need to redo the trial. Come with all of the evidence, the proof, and the facts. The hell with them allegations. The hell with them documentaries, man. Put the receipts on the table so we can all know what time it is. Because if he lose his life while he in jail and he innocent, that's going to be a shame all the way around.
Not even a week ago, a lawyer for R. Kelly told me live on this program that someone is trying to kill his client in prison. He even outlined an alleged contract on R. Kelly's head, which makes today's news just a little jarring, to say the least. R. Kelly, real name Robert Kelly, was rushed to the hospital on Friday, allegedly having been overdosed with his own prison medication. His attorney, Bo Brindley, joins me live now, again with the details. Welcome back to the show, Bo. So, wow, you said it, and then within days, something odd happened. What was it actually that happened on Friday to your client, R. Kelly?
Well, it was Thursday evening when he was administered his anxiety and sleeping medication in solitary confinement. So he got the medication on Thursday as usual. He has to have it administered because this is prison and he's in solitary. So he wakes up early Friday morning. He's feeling faint. He sees black spots. He tries to stand. He collapses. He crawls to the door of his cell and loses consciousness. When they get him on the gurney, the prison officials indicate they want to take him to the medical center there at the facility on site. But that facility was not able to treat him, and they took him off-site to Duke University Hospital, where he was diagnosed with an overdose, having received basically 2 times the necessary dosage and the appropriate dosage of his medication. And then while there, Mr. Kelly outlined his concerns about blood clots in his legs. A scan was done by the hospital, and they found blood clots in both legs and in his lungs, and wanted to do a procedure to address that and keep him in the hospital for 7 days. He was given a treatment plan. Within an hour, officers came in who had custody of Mr. Kelly. And as we are told, they came in with not just handguns at their sides, with actual AR-15 style rifles, removed him from the hospital without the procedure, without the surgical intervention that they said he needed. And they returned him to solitary confinement, where he sits today with blood clots in his lungs. Given what happened last week and all the skepticism that it was met with, even here on this show, I noted your skepticism, I understand. But the prison officials themselves now seem to be removing any doubt that I have that this is real and it's happening in real time.
And the skepticism, of course, is because the allegation is that it's the Bureau of Prisons, the federal government, trying to kill your client, which I think a lot of people would meet with healthy skepticism. But I guess my next question would be, given this pattern of facts that you just laid out, do you have doctors and medical professionals at Duke that would be willing to testify that they wanted to treat R. Kelly and that the Bureau of Prisons refused that and took him out at gunpoint?
Sources at Duke University Hospital has confirmed for us that Mr. Kelly was there, that Mr. Kelly was forcibly removed, that Mr. Kelly was treated for an overdose, and that there was treatment needed for blood clots. We do have that information. What we are trying to obtain is the medical records that support it. We need the necessary waivers signed by Mr. Kelly, which is not easy as he sits in solitary confinement. But I'm going to see him tomorrow. I'm going to get the executed waivers. I'm going to have those medical records in my hands as soon as possible. But I do have confirmation that what Mr. Kelly's reporting did happen, as extraordinary as it is. And we are fighting very hard to get him back in the hospital and save his life.
Well, one last question. It sounds like you're planning to file a motion to vacate his conviction, quote, based on newly discovered evidence this week. Is this the issue that we're talking about as newly discovered evidence this week that you're going to hang the filing on?
No, this is a threat to R. Kelly's life that we see happening right now at the hands of Bureau of Prisons officials. What we believe they are trying to prevent is the exposure of the criminal conduct by U.S. attorneys and Bureau of Prisons officers in the investigation of his federal cases in New York and Chicago. And that is what we intend to expose in our filing this week regarding newly discovered evidence that we believe will vacate Robert Kelly's conviction.
I don't know. I just don't know. Y'all gonna have to let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. I'm looking forward to reading them comments down below. Do y'all feel like they need to let this man out of jail ASAP so he can see the light of day one more time? I'm afraid he gonna get out there and resort back to them old ways. A lot of brothers get out of jail and forget about all that pain and all that struggle. They get right back to doing what they was doing that landed them in jail in the first place. And he dead wrong. The whole world was on alert. Everybody was talking about him being a freak, and he still had some 18, 19-year-old girlfriends. It's like he ain't learned his lesson then. People been talking about him for a long time. He had plenty of time to get his life together and switch it up, get some counseling, get some help. Maybe he just sick. I don't know if I could trust R. Kelly back in society. Back at the McDonald's, back in Chicago, back around all them weirdos and freaks. And with these fast girls out here now, he gonna be right back in jail. It's probably best if he stay up in there, man. I don't know. But if he innocent, and which I doubt, he need to be free. I don't want to see him lose his life. They said he received some devastating, horrible news in jail, man. And that's sad. Not just for R. Kelly, but for anybody, man. Y'all gonna have to pray for him if that's what y'all want to do. But if y'all don't, I get it. Make sure y'all do me a favor too. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button too. Man, one more thing before I go. Subscribe to my channel if that's what you want.
Subscribe to my channel if that's what you want. But if that's not what you like, then you must be a punk. Hold on.